Yo, what's up, everybody? People always say, bologna and waffles. I like this. I don't know why. I like bologna and white bread too. I like bologna with white bread and mustard. But after a while, I get tired of it. I can't eat too. I have a real craving for it, and I like it. And then after a while, I just like, oh, I don't like this. But I like bologna. I like bologna. Why do you know what tastes good? You ever had real bologna? Like real bologna in the deli, and they cut it on that meat thing. I forgot what it's called, but they cut it on that, and that red tape, that red tape to be on the bologna, that's what holds it together. That's what be holding it together. That be like the thing, you squish it in there. Like most lunch meat is. People always get mad at me when I say this, but like the meat that's thrown away, not thrown away, but thrown to the side, that's what they make bologna out of. That's what they make salami out of. But salami got more seasonings in it. Salami has more seasoning, so the flavor's better. I like salami. But like bologna, that's what it's made. And people always say, what's another name for ground beef? Growing up, we used to call it chopped meat. Because that's what I called it. I called it chopped meat. Mama used to call it chopped meat. But they didn't call it ground beef. They called it chopped meat. So they go to some chopped meat. And then years later, I realized why it's called chopped meat. Because the prime cuts of meat go to the restaurants. The prime cuts of beef go to the restaurants. Let me laugh at all those. The prime cuts of beef go to the restaurants. And they make steaks and stuff like that. I don't want to put food in my mouth. They make steaks out of that. But then the other parts, they take that and they mash it all together, season it with garlic powder, salt, stuff, pepper. And that's how they make chopped meat. Ground beef, chopped meat. You know, like I said, ground beef was the chopped meat. Go to the store, he said, let me get $2 worth of chopped meat. $2 worth of chopped meat. And then I remember one time, I was making some in the kitchen. I put some grease in the pan. And my mother was like, you don't have to put grease in the pan. It makes its own grease because it's fat in it. I said, oh yeah, that's why like when you go in the cook stores and you actually chop meat, there's a lot of fat in it. It's a lot of fat, but like the better stores, or if you actually ground beef or whatever, what percentage of beef and meat stuff, it depends. And it's less fat. I didn't know that. So, growing up in years, I caught on. But it's chopped meat, ground beef, we just call it chopped meat. And even like a lady was talking, I was watching this thing on TikTok, and something about shrimp and lobster. Shrimp and lobster at one time was considered peasant food. Shrimp, lobster, crabs, scallops, that was all considered peasant food. That's for the jailbirds. Now they're making it an exquisite dish and making all that money for it. They charge all that money for it now, but at one time it was considered scraps and peasant food. It was fed the only prisoners. Shrimp, lobster, which is like diamonds. Like I said, diamonds serve no purpose but to look at. We call diamonds precious stones. Africans call them just rocks. It's rocks. You say diamonds are rare. Diamonds are not rare. If they was rare, why they in all the stores you go in? All the jewelry stores. Diamonds, like that's a marketing ploy. It's a marketing ploy to say diamonds are a girl's best friend. So when you're about to get engaged, prior to that, people prior to making diamonds a big deal, people didn't get engaged before they got married. They would just get married. But they started getting engaged so you could buy your girlfriend or your possible wife an engagement ring. And you put the engagement ring to get married. It's all about money. It's a marketing ploy. Diamonds serve no purpose but to look at. People say they're rare, they're not rare. They're rocks. Alright, so let me go and eat my bologna sandwich. Oh, and something else, another thing I was talking about is like beef and pork. People like beef. some people don't eat pork for religious reasons. But pork is easier to digest than beef. People saying pork has worms in it. People like fish. In order to catch fish, you use worms. So shut the fuck up. You use worms to catch fish. People say fish is better than pork. Pork got worms in it. Fish like worms. Yeah, but like I was saying, beef is harder. That beef sits in your stomach longer. Say your stomach, it make your shit stink too. That's why when you go to use the bathroom, it's like a dead body. Because all that meat just, it don't smell like everything you eat. If you become a vegetarian and stop eating meat, you'll notice your waste, your shit will stink as bad. It won't stink. But to me, beef is just hard. I just don't mess with it. I don't mess with beef and I don't mess with cheese. Cheese puts a lot of flavor in your throat, like milk. Puts a lot of mucus in your throat, make you spit all the time. That's how you see dudes spitting all the time. That's all like meat and phlegm in their throat. I don't mess with meat, I don't eat beef. Like I said, beef stay in my body too long. It should be hard to shit out. So I don't mess with it. I stop eating. I don't stay in the bathroom all day, and it don't smell like a dead body when I come out the bathroom, because I don't eat beef. That's one of the beef. But like I said, me personally, pork can stay in my system more. It's easier to digest. But when I say pork, I mean like, I eat like bacon, salami, stuff like that. I'm not talking about like big ass pork chops. So, you know, I eat, like when I say eat pork, I eat sandwiches and stuff like that. A lot of people don't eat pork, but they eat beef. But beef is harder to digest. And they drink milk. Milk is just as bad. All right, y'all, you got this.